I'm sure throwing everybody off. But I want to make sure uh, you have time to work on this block and just avoiding some other scheduling issues. And this one's so easy. So I thought I'd just jump in a little early, show you how it's done, because this one's just, I mean, we've been doing this technique already. So you'll be able to knock this block out in just a jiffy. So block 3 is, I didn't grab my sample block. If that's what I get for doing it early. It's just half square triangles. So you're taking your background and you're drawing a diagonal line, sewing your 1/4 inch from each side of the line, and then cutting it open and pressing. And like I've told you, I like to press my seams open. Really, it's personal preference. So you just take your little half square triangles once you cut them in half and press them open. You're going to trim them up to 4.5 inches square and then start sewing them together to make star points. So really you just have a plain center and your star points around it. And I call this kind of a fake flying geese or a faux flying geese block because you're taking your half square triangles and you're putting them together into essentially a flying geese. So it's just kind of a cheater way to do it, or, you know, who knows? I think it was easier for them just to teach a whole bunch of half square triangles. The one key for this block is making sure that you're leaving the lighter background as your star points, sewing these gold prints together. So naturally my brain always wants to make the darker print the star point. So keep in mind in this block we're doing kind of the reverse. And you're going to sew 2 units that look, well actually you're going to sew all 4 units that look like this to begin with. Set 2 of them aside, and then you're going to make 2 more that add the squares on the ends. Okay, so you'll have 2 that are like this, 2 that are like this. Okay, and then it's simple enough. You start out with your center square and you start with adding the geese that don't have the extra squares to that center square. Now remember, the other tip, you want to pin beginning and end because you don't want it shifting, because that's where you get all your problems of things starting to pucker and stretch and do all kinds of bad things in your block, and you don't want that. So I just match up these ends, making sure they're not scooting one way or the other, and pin it at the end and at the beginning. Now, one other tip, now that I'm thinking about it, is that generally in a scenario like this where I have a section that's got seams in it and a section that's plain, a lot of times I put the section with the seams in it face down on my machine. So this is just kind of my general rule as I sew. Nothing really particular to this block itself, but a lot of times I like having just that nice flat surface for the top because the feed dogs are on the bottom. So they're grabbing everything on the bottom and working with it. I just make sure I kind of stop my machine right before that seam, making sure both of my seams are open the way I want them, and then I just keep sewing so I don't accidentally flip my seam over. But otherwise I like having that nice flat top. I don't have to worry about my foot getting caught on the seam on the bottom and all those kinds of things. So that's just kind of a general tip of what I like to do when I sew. But like I said, it's not a rule. It really doesn't matter one way or the other in the long run. It just comes down to personal preference. Maybe give it a try if usually you do it the other way, whatever, you know, or ignore me and you do you at this point. So that's just, you know, my little nugget bonus tip. Otherwise, you sew those on each side. So one on the right side, one on the left side, and then you're going to add these guys and pin at the seams. Okay, so definitely match those seams up, pin at the beginning and end. That way everything just meets up and aligns up the way you want it. And then you'll have block 3. And my bad, I didn't grab it. It's over there. But you've got pictures. It's really pretty simple. If you have questions, problems, if you're just not getting it, just let me know. You know, I know some of you are new and this is just totally new for you guys. So it takes a little practice getting warmed up for all of this. If you need help with trimming up blocks, those kinds of things, I know I talked about it in previous videos. But if it's a struggle for you, just let me know. Reach out to me. We can do like a video chat and kind of talk it out, walk it out. You can show me what you're doing. I can show you how I do it. Whatever works. That's what we're here for. And especially these days, a lot of it's all virtual. So don't be afraid just to shoot me a message, call me, email me, Mindy at Quilting Mayhem, any of those things, and I'll gladly help you. But this one's pretty straightforward after the last two blocks you've done. So hopefully you don't have any hiccups, but if you do, let me know. Otherwise, you have the rest of today. I am letting you free. I'm not interrupting the middle of your day with a video this time. We're just going to get you moving on into the weekend. So hope you have a lovely, lovely day and keep on stitching.